Welcome, Diecast fans and hobby enthusiasts. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Diecast Emporium. Today we're going to be unboxing the first batch of Matchbox real working rigs for 2021. It is here. I could not be more excited to unbox this together with you on camera for the first time. I do know the 4 models that are going to be in this box, but I have not yet seen them, so we're going to kind of see the excitement for the first time here on camera. Again, if you guys have followed me for any length of time on this channel, you know for years I have collected the working rigs, which they are now affectionately known as the working rigs. They used to be, back in the day, known as the Matchbox real working rigs. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the outer shipping box, which this is what it comes in, if you are lucky enough to find it on the store stocking shelves before they put it on the pegs. So it looks like the first mix is what's going to be known as the J case, but we'll call it Mix 1 just to keep things simple. So there should be a total of 8 vehicles, 8 pieces. So if we're lucky, there should be 2 of each. So there should be 4 different ones. Obviously, 2 of each for a total of 8. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and take a closer look. So as always, I got this case from my good buddy James at JCar Diecast. You can find the link to his website below, jcardiecast.com. I always recommend, if you are looking for anything in the Hot Wheels or Matchbox, even M2, that kind of thing, motor, just visit his website. Again, I will provide the link down below. It's much easier to purchase from him than it is to try and hunt this stuff down in the stores. So, from the top-down look, again, you are seeing everything for the first time, just like I am. It appears as though we got lucky, and there is 2 of each in the mix. Sometimes we saw last year that there would be, let's say, 1 of a particular truck and 3 of another. But again, it doesn't look like that's going to be an issue here. So let's go ahead and take the first one out of the box. So this is an all-new casting for this mix, and I can already tell, just like with the regular Matchbox for 2021, we have a new card art design. So this is the International Mvx Truck, and take a look at that awesome card work and that awesome truck. We are going to open, in the second half of this video, we are going to open one of each of these, and we'll go into the detail and the functionality of each of those as we go along. But that is just an incredible looking international box truck there. Looks like the working feature on this is the loading ramp goes down, so that's going to be pretty cool to test out. The back of it, there you go, again, choking hazard, and all of your trademark information on the bottom. Here's what's important. If you look at the top of the screen right here, it looks like there's going to be 16 different vehicles in 2021 in the working rigs range. That is something that I really hope comes to fruition and happens. I think that's double than what we saw last year, so that's going to be really, really exciting for those of us that love the working rigs. Second one out of the box is another one of the International Mvx trucks. Same thing, 2 of those. All right, here's another cool one. This is the Mvx Road Grader. Very cool looking machine. Again, take a look at the box card art there. And the working feature on here looks like the blade of the grader moves. And this is number 3 of 16. My assumption is that these are going to be 1 through 4, but who knows? We'll find that out together as well. And here is a second one of those. Here's a mobile crane, the Mvx mobile crane. Again, not a completely licensed model, but again, based on a real piece of heavy equipment. If you've been around a construction site or on the roads, you've seen these for sure. Second one, another mobile crane. And the last, by the way, this was number 4 of 16. And last out of the box is one of the highlights of last year. This is a recolor for it, the GMC 3500 Attenuator Truck, this time in a Matchbox County yellow color. And in fact, my assumption was correct. This is number 2 of 16. So again, these are 1 through 4. So there will be likely 4 mixes of the Matchbox working rigs with 4 different vehicles each to make up a total of 16 before 2021 is up. Very much looking forward to that. So what we'll do right now, we'll take a quick break. I'll get the boxes out of the way, and we will open up one of each of these and take a closer look at them. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, everyone, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me. So I've brought out the spinny table. We're going to take a look at each of these opened, and we'll zoom in a little bit, take a better look at each of these. I think we're going to go in numeric order instead of going in what I think is probably the most appealing order. What I've put on the table first is not obviously in this mix, but this was a Matchbox Working Rigs release from 2018. This is a scraper in the INC livery. The reason that I put this up here was I had a thought while I was getting these together. If they ever do this Road Grader in another livery, this one right here, it would be awesome to have the Road Grader and the scraper and the INC construction livery together. So just a thought I had. I wanted to get that quickly in on the video before I got talking about all these awesome castings and forgot about it. So, all right, let's open up one of these. And again, we'll take a closer look at each of these. So, number one, we had the International MV box truck. So once again, here is the card art for it. And just like I mentioned during the unboxing, for 2021, Matchbox has a new design on the cards, which I think, in my opinion, is nearly on the level of the Blue brand with their car culture. They have really, really stepped it up. I mean, it almost makes me, feel guilty for opening these. But on the bottom, you can see 1 out of 16, the bottom left. Above that, obviously, you have the vehicle. And then in that circle picture, you can see the working features, Matchbox Working Rigs, and at the top right corner, you see the International decal, denoting that this is a real truck and obviously that it's licensed. So let's go ahead and open this. All right. So it says, around the corner or around the world, we do it right. Speedy Express. And it also, underneath that, says insured, global tracking, secure international customs processing. It has the number 53 underneath it, which is kind of a very personal number to me, so that was an added bonus to this truck, in my opinion. The wheels are very nice looking. The grille on the front and the base, as you can see, is plastic. You have a die-cast metal component here, and then the truck body itself is plastic, and then the cab is metal with a plastic windshield insert. As for the loading ramp, so that folds down, but not only does it fold down, but you can lower it. So let's say, for example, you had, and I'm bringing in an HO scale crate here, so obviously these are not really totally to scale, but for demonstration purposes, we'll put our crate on there, and then we'll lift our ramp up so you could load the crate of material into the back of the truck and have it posed there, which I think that's super cool. That's the full extent that it goes up to, and you can just have the truck posed like that. So really interesting feature. I think the opportunities are endless with this truck, especially when you talk about the customizers that are amongst us in the community. You can respray these in Penske truck rental colors, or perhaps a moving company of your choice. I mean, there are tons of opportunities with this, maybe even an Amazon truck. The list just goes on and on. I see this tooling being used religiously over the next few years. Box trucks obviously are very numerous among cities and towns. So very cool. I do enjoy the working feature of the loading ramp there. It's a very simple and simplistic tooling overall, but I think it works well for what Matchbox is going for. And the truck itself, obviously the cab, the HX cab, does look very good as well. All right, let's move on. We're going to pick up number 2 here. And for number 2, as I mentioned again during the unboxing video, a highlight of 2019. It was almost impossible, at least in my area, to find this particular truck when it first came out on the pegs. This is the GMC 3500 Attenuator Truck. Again, number 2 of 16. There's your card art. And again, we already saw the information on the back. Not going to spend too much time on that. If this is your first time watching a review with me on the Attenuator Truck, if you're not quite sure what these are used for, but maybe you've seen them on the throughways or highways near you. So these trucks are usually used in road construction or whenever there's work being done on the side of the highway. This is a cushion on the back that goes down. So if there is a vehicle or a driver that's not paying attention, so let's just say, for example, we have a driver coming up in this Mercedes here, and he's not paying attention, and he should be going around the truck, but he's still in the lane where they're doing construction. The whole idea of a cushion or a attenuator truck is for the vehicle to hit the cushion pad and not hit the workers that are in the construction zone. So that's why you may hear them referred to as cushion or crash trucks, but their official name is attenuator trucks, and that is their primary function. Again, the aero board up on top of the truck is supposed to give the drivers an idea to move over to the next lane. And again, you can flip the sign up on here, and you can also switch it to the other side so that the arrow faces to the right if you're having some construction done in the opposite direction. Very cool tooling, wonderful to see. I've seen these on many collections and layout dioramas. As far as it being to scale, I would say it's a mix between HO and 1/64 scale. I think it would really work for what you're going for in either scale. In terms of the color, I think it's a smart choice to go with a literal bright highway yellow. Kind of speaks for itself. The truck is the same casting that we've seen, the GMC 3500 casting. The decos, Matchbox County Roadworks, Matchbox USA. It has a California registration underneath it, and it has RWR for Real Working Rigs 2020 on the door, and a fleet number of 32. So without question, I think if you're looking for what's going to be most popular out of this set, I think it's a toss-up between the International Moving Truck, just because it's the new casting, and this just because every time they introduce this truck, it sells out incredibly fast, and it's just hard to get hold of. Again, the back of the cushion pad says Matchbox County Roadworks, lane closed ahead, Matchbox Trans and Freeway Services. Lots of time and deco went into making this truck look realistic, as every release of this truck goes. And particularly for me in the construction sect of what I like to collect, this is an easy must-add. All right, let's take a look at number 3 in the collection, following along those lines of the construction sect. So this is a road grader, or a motor grader. And this is not the first time that we've seen it in the working rigs, but it is the first time since, I think, 2014, 2015, so it's been quite a while. Go ahead and open it here. Just a brief description on what this piece of heavy equipment does in the real world, in case you may not be familiar. So this machine is used to grade, thus the name, road beds or parking lots in preparation for final paving for a road bed to go down. So you'd have this machine go through, usually after the scraper goes through, and then you'll have compactors go in and compact whatever the grader goes down, and then you'll have pavers come in and lay the asphalt down, and then you'll usually have a road. So, again, primarily used in road construction. You will find them in mining applications, and they're even used in the northern states to plow snow when there's a lot of snow around. So, very useful piece of heavy equipment. The real ones articulate across this pivot point, but the model does not. And the tires will oscillate as well. This is called your circle and mold board, and the blade does turn, but it doesn't drop like a real one would. But in terms of if you want an example of your grader on your collection, this is a fantastic representation of it. The Adler name, I believe, is a play on one of the Matchbox designers' last name. I think it's spelled backwards. So that's kind of a nice touch. The red color is interesting because you typically do not see graders painted red. And the top graphic reads R125 grader. Same thing here on the engine housing. Diecast components. pretty much the whole mold, with the exception of the cab, the blade, and the chassis, is die-cast, and then obviously the wheels are plastic as well. For scale reference, here is our international box delivery truck. So again, these are clearly not all made to scale, because obviously the grader would dwarf the size of this international delivery truck. But again, very cool casting. And as I mentioned at the very beginning part of this video, I would love to see the grader painted up in the INC construction livery, just to continue that history and legacy, and to pair it with the road grader, or the road scraper. Okay, let's take a look and open the last piece of this 4-piece set. Pardon my arm in front of the camera. So this is it, the Mvx mobile crane in the Rainek livery, which again is a play on the word crane. This is a reoccurring livery in the Matchbox range throughout the last several years. So again, it's a play on the word crane with just the letters changed up a little bit. Personally, I kind of like the scheme. It's very believable as a professional company livery. So here is the, well, let's go all out. So here is the crane in a transport configuration, as if you would see it traveling down the road to the job site. These cranes, for the most part, are permitted to travel on the road, unlike the tracked crawler crane counterpart, because obviously they do have wheels. So the hook actually hooks on to the little piece on the front of the cab, which is modeled on this, which is pretty cool. So once they get to the job site, the crane would pull up. You'd have crane mats that would go underneath these, and there are a total of 4 of these. These are called Outriggers or stabilizers. These would deploy to stabilize the crane. These do not work on the model, but it's nice that Matchbox casted them in anyway. And then the boom would raise. And then you'd have your boom sections here extend out, which you do have one working section there that extends. And then there you have a example of a working mobile crane. Very cool there, and I love the fact that it actually works. So again, very cool, and this will look great on your city layout or your diorama. Just a wonderful addition, again, to the Working Rigs collection. So there you go, collectors. That is an entire in-depth review, unboxing. We took a look at them on the spinny table. I gave you my 2 cents on each of these, but what I want you to do is to tell me which of these 4 new releases for 2021 is the best so far in your opinion. Which one are you looking for? Do you want all 4 of them? Again, I have to say, I think all 4 of them are very cool, but it's a toss-up between the Attenuator Truck and the International Box Truck out of this mix for me as to which are the absolute definite ads. These retail on the pegs for between $5 and $6, so they're very, very reasonable. You are getting good value for your money, especially with the detail and the play value and the collectability that are associated with these. So again, visit my friend James at jcardiecast.com. There will be a link down in the description where you can buy this case, so you don't have to look for it in stores. And again, it would make a wonderful Christmas gift for the Matchbox collector in your life. As always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next review.